The Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Bret the Hitman Hart in a submissions match at WrestleMania 13. Going into it clueless, who do y'all got? What I will tell you is this is one of the greatest matches of WrestleMania history. And the crazy thing is, this is just the second main event, second to The Undertaker and Psycho Sid for the WWF Championship, but we'll get into that in another video. Bret Hart has always been the type of man that stood on business. He's the guy that shows up to do his job and not to be involved in any kind of work-related drama. And like most go-to wrestlers, his number one goal was to be the WWF champion, proving that he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. After he lost to Shawn Michaels in the Iron Man match, Dude decided to take 6 months off to come back and say that he was offered a deal to go to WCW. Bret Hart would also accept Stone Cold's challenge and would face him at Survivor Series, which would result in Bret Hart beating Stone Cold. But what really got this feud intensified was when they were both the final two participants in the 1997 Royal Rumble match. Bret Hart eliminated Stone Cold, but it was unofficial since the referees chose to be blind and not see him physically get thrown out the ring. Stone Cold snuck back into the ring and eliminated Bret Hart when the referees were finally looking, screwing Bret Hart from winning the Royal Rumble. Around this time, Shawn Michaels had to vacate the WWF Championship because of a knee injury. In addition to this, Bret Hart and Stone Cold each felt they deserved a title shot of their own, and Vader and The Undertaker also wanting a title shot at the WWF Championship, so Vince McMahon put them in a four corners elimination match for the WWF Championship at WWF In Your House, which Bret Hart won by eliminating The Undertaker. The following night on Raw, Bret Hart put his title on the line against Psycho Sid, and when Bret Hart was about to win the match with a sharpshooter, that's where Stone Cold came and smacked him with the chair. Then Sid finished him with a powerbomb, beating Bret Hart. Understandably, Bret Hart was so pissed, and what's funny is that Stone Cold wasn't even back there waiting for him and left the stadium. And so it was confirmed that Bret Hart would get his get back and he'd be facing Stone Cold at WrestleMania 13 in a submissions match. But with enough crying and whining from the Hitman, he was given another title shot in a steel cage match against Psycho Sid, which ended up turning into a fatal four-way when Stone Cold came and interfered, and then suddenly came The Undertaker. Bret and Psycho Sid were focused on each other while Stone Cold and The Undertaker were going at it. Bret was about to win this match, but got screwed by The Undertaker because he wanted to help Psycho Sid in his defense so he could get a title shot at WrestleMania 13, and Bret Hart was getting assisted by Austin so that way him and Austin could get a title shot at WrestleMania 13. Bret Hart then gives his CM Punk level pipe bomb about how everyone is out to get him. In this segment, this kind of makes Bret a temporary heel, telling the audience that they need to acknowledge him as the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. So much yapping from Bret Hart that Stone Cold had to step in and try to humble Bret Hart. Bret Hart is ready to crash out, causing Psycho Sid and The Undertaker to come out, turning into a freaking all-out war. Four men fighting each other and Shawn Michaels just coming and masking in all the madness, even attempting to hit Bret Hart or Stone Cold, whichever one, with a chair. We begin the match, and Stone Cold has one of the most iconic entrances of all time. That glass shatter wall and him walking out was a chef's kiss. Stone Cold always had aura, and he didn't even care about the fans, he just wanted to kick ass. You can't help but to root for him. He looked really cool, and his don't give a fuck attitude really just elevated him as a superstar and as an entertainer in the ring. Dude even came out and got in Ken Shamrock's face. Dude didn't even do anything to Stone Cold. He literally was just talking shit to him. And even though Ken Shamrock was jacked in this match, Stone Cold did not care who he was. Just cussing him out, just talking shit in his face. That's why Stone Cold is iconic. Now, Bret Hart comes out to a mixed crowd. Half boos, half cheering for him. But he's locked in and ready to break Stone Cold. Soon as Bret steps into the ring, all hell breaks loose and Stone Cold straight up tackles his ass. I'll be honest, with this being a submissions match, I felt like Bret Hart had the advantage because Stone Cold is not a submissions type of wrestler. He's more of a beat 'em up type of wrestler. Bret Hart Irish whips Stone Cold head first into the ring post, and that head clash sounded like a chair smack. Bret tries to suplex Stone Cold, but he reverses all attempts and gets him on the rails. As a true don't give a fuck type of wrestler, Stone Cold takes his fight to the crowd. Not gonna lie, it's hard to follow this because everyone's big ass head is in the way and the cameraman is creating an earthquake effect with the camera. This fight can only last so long because they don't got room to do anything but throw punches to each other. Eventually, Bret throws Stone Cold back into the fight zone. Stone Cold gives Bret a taste of his own medicine by throwing him into a metal object, which sounded like it hurt him really bad. Now we're finally in the ring and Bret has the upper hand now, focusing on Stone Cold's injured knee. To have momentum from getting his knee targeted for 2 minutes, Stone Cold desperately uses his stored finisher, which doesn't help much, being that this is a submissions match. Bret regains his consciousness and goes back to trying to bust Stone Cold's kneecap. This next move is devious. Knowing his knee is in the red stage, Bret puts him in an upside down figure 4 using the ring post as pressure against his knee, which I know hurts 5 times more than a regular one. Bret, determined to end this man's career, loses the announcer's table and tries to aim to shatter Stone Cold's ankle. But luckily, Stone Cold gets up and finally plays some offense. Stone Cold, pump up from the crowd talking so much shit, starts inflicting damage to Bret Hart. Stone Cold finally puts Bret into a submission move, which looks to be a type of armbar. Now, Stone Cold got him in the walls of Jericho. Bret doesn't submit to either moves. Stone Cold tries to use a stolen finisher bar, but Bret reverses it. Bret Hart gets thrown outside the ring, and Stone Cold tries to Irish whip Bret Hart into the table, but Bret Hart is a goated technical wrestler. Austin is now bleeding from getting thrown headfirst into the rail. Now Bret Hart is focused on his open wound. Stone Cold isn't looking so good. Bret is showing no mercy to the rattlesnake. Bret Hart is pummeling Stone Cold, continuing to weaken him. We're back in the ring. Bret Hart is determined to make Stone Cold submit, focusing on his skull. Bret Hart painfully attacks Stone Cold's knee with a chair, showing how much he hates Stone Cold and how much pain he wants to inflict on him. The ring is covered in so much blood, and Stone Cold can barely defend himself. Stone Cold gets Bret Hart in the family jewels, allowing him to pick himself up. In a moment of adrenaline, he throws Bret Hart into a post and does his famous corner kicks. Stone Cold, using the little strength he has, gets him up for a superplex. Austin is full of surprises and goes and grabs cords to choke Bret Hart to death, but in a feat of desperation, Bret Hart gets him with the ring bell. Stone Cold is out, and Bret catches him with a sharpshooter, and Austin is fighting for his life. Austin and Bret are in the center of the ring, and he's too weak to reach for the ropes. This is lethal because the sharpshooter is an incredibly painful submission move. Stone Cold is losing so much blood from screaming in pain, creating a stream of blood. At one point, it looked like he broke it, but Bret Hart keeps it locked. Bret Hart is so locked in. This is so tight, and this pain causes Stone Cold to pass out, and probably from the amount of blood, causing Ken Shamrock to call the match. Bret Hart wins the match, able to bounce back from his loss from Wrestlemania 12 against Shawn Michaels. Bret Hart is not done with Stone Cold. He flips him over and starts attacking his damaged knee. Stone Cold, still knocked out, doesn't even respond to the pain, but Ken steps in, protecting Stone Cold, taking Bret Hart to Suplex City. Bret was finna square up with Ken Shamrock, and the crowd was hyped, and Bret knew better not to step up to Ken because he was super jacked during this match. Bret Hart then gets booed out of the ring, and people start flipping him off as he walks to the back. And eventually, Stone Cold comes to. You know when you cut the head off of a snake with venom and its head is touched and it still has the muscle memory to bite even when it's beheaded? This is exactly what happens when the referee tries to help Austin up. His number one reflex is to stun you, no matter if you're trying to help him or not. Austin, with one leg covered in blood, gets clapped out the ring and limps backstage. WrestleMania 13 was a decent event, but what helped make it memorable was this match, and this match alone. The story that these two told through this match was filled with drama and hard-hitting action, and by the end of it, it accomplished something that was very hard to do: make the viewer feel sympathy for Stone Cold. Stone Cold has been the type of wrestler that never cared about getting praised or approval from the WWF or WWE universe. He never cared what people thought of him. He just showed up to kick ass and drink beer. Even watching this match, you can look up to Stone Cold as a type of motivator for being able to give his all and not give up even when his body quit on him. He fought as hard and as long as humanly possible and refused to give up. But in the end, it wasn't his decision to give up, as he was knocked out unconsciously by Bret Hart. From Bret Hart's perspective, this also told a great story of the frustrations Bret had to deal with. After being screwed over so many times by guys like Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, finally reached his breaking point. He didn't care about sportsmanship. He didn't care about what anyone thought about him. All he cared about was making Austin feel as much pain as possible and winning the match by any means necessary. With all these elements in this match, it did something that was very hard to do. After this match, both guys were elevated. Bret Hart just defeated one of the hottest guys in the company in a grueling match, while Austin comes off as a complete badass who refused to lose and had to be knocked out unconscious to be forced to quit. That's why this is one of the greatest matches in WWE history. Hello everyone, hope you enjoyed this video. I plan on making more of these, but sometimes I hit a copyright claim from WWE. I'd like to show you highlights from the match, show you more action. If you'd like to see that, go to my Patreon, which is Chameleonaire, go to my TikTok, which is Chameleonaire, and visit my Instagram, which is Chameleon Season, for more action and more videos. Coming soon.